Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. This is Career Cruise Podcast, where we discuss everything growth, everything leveling up. We also discuss some of the fumbles and tumbles in the career journey. And this includes the job you're hired to do and even the business that you're running and even your student life, So the Career Cruise Podcast is about every aspect of your life in different ways. I'm your host, Violette Wambua. For those who do not know, or for those who are new here, just know that Career Cruise Podcast is a baby of networking in heels. It's a place where we bring out all the conversations that happen at the events, which are empowerment and mentorship events. We bring them here so that everybody can benefit as well, and not just the people who attended. And I'd also like to hear from you some more. So please feel free to also share this information with others by liking, by subscribing, by sharing, and commenting. Tell me what you think. We discussed so many topics here so far, and thank you for hanging with me. Today we're talking about feedback. That word, people say feedback is the breakfast of champions and all those motivational conversations when you're being given feedback and how to take it in stride and what have you. But really, I struggle with getting feedback, and especially negative feedback as an individual. But sometimes I wonder, is it that I want feedback or I want validation? Do I want someone to just rubber stamp what it is I'm doing, or do I actually want them to tell me, hey, I think that this is where you veered off the line, and maybe if you adjust this and that, it could be better. And also, majority of the times when you hear the word feedback, it has a negative connotation to it. Feedback doesn't have to be negative, but I feel like that's how it has been taken to be. It's a dirty word when you, I'd like to give you some feedback, and you're like, oh my God, what do they want to tell me now? So let's just open our minds to the two possibilities that feedback can be positive and feedback can also be negative. And, it is what it is. So today we'll discuss about taking feedback and how you can use feedback to continue to grow yourself, to continue to, channel yourself in the right position for leveling up, for achieving even better than you achieved the last time, or whatever it is that you're doing. Let's go with positive feedback first. So the good news and then the bad news. And of course, the conclusion of the matter. So when you talk about positive feedback, so assume you're an artist, sang a song, and the crowd is going wild. They're so happy. Yay, you're the star of the show. And that's amazing. That's good feedback. It tells you what you're doing is the right thing for that audience. It tells you that you're able to entertain them, to hold their attention, and to, appeal to their heartstrings, depending on the message you're giving them. At home, you're supposed to cook dinner for the family or your roommates or whoever it is, or your guests even, and they tell you, oh my God, this food is amazing, and that's feedback. So it tells you that, hey, so I'm good at making noodles, whatever it is you made for them, hoping you made for them a lasagna or something nice, not noodles for 5 minutes boiling. So anyway, you get your feedback and you're like, okay, so the next time you have people coming over, or the next time you think of entertaining, that thing that you got good feedback on is the first thing you put on your list of things to offer. And that's how it is, even with our tasks. If you're running and now you're able to cover a short distance in 10 minutes, next time you try to do 5 minutes, like that. So all that comes with feedback, like how am I doing? How am I able to better myself? And that's really the idea behind feedback. So then you can maintain your tempo or improve it, because that's what we're here for as Career Cruise Podcast, just to improve ourselves, to make sure that every single day we are doing better than we were doing the previous day. And remember, your competition is not the next person. Your competition is this person in the mirror. The person on your ID or your passport, that's your competition. That's your fighter. That's the person you're fighting against and also fighting for. So then you improve your life. So, take feedback with in your stride. Take feedback with positivity. Even the positive feedback, take it positively. Keep on doing, when you get good feedback, don't think, now I'm a champion. No, think about always improving yourself. So you wrote a good book, the next book that comes out, it has to be even better, So you did well in this project, there's a standard. So now you have to outdo your, better your best at all times. So that's the importance of, that's how you can positively use the good feedback that you're receiving. Also, when you get good feedback, then you're also able to, in a job setting, you're also able to push the envelope to get a pay rise, push the envelope for your clients, ask them to pay a bit more, in the business that you're running. Like, guys, you see, I'm able to deliver this and this goods and this, and I'm good. They can obviously tell. So when you ask for a bit more money, I don't think your client will refuse you, because they've seen you doing your best for them, and you're maintaining a standard. The feedback that they're giving you is positive, so use that to your advantage. That's what we want you to do. Use everything to your advantage, so that you can grow and be even more satisfied and prosper as an individual, and also as a business person. The other thing with positive feedback, it can easily make you lazy. You stop researching. Every day you research, how can I do this better? I like to go back to Beyonce as an example. She's one of my favorite artists when it comes to discipline in her craft. So you can tell that she's always pushing the envelope for herself. She's always pushing the boundary lines. She's always just trying to see, how can I do this differently? And she always comes out with crazy projects, things that you wouldn't imagine that anybody in her caliber would even bother to come up with. I mean, she's already well decorated as an artist. She's already doing amazing. She's already wealthy. You wonder, why is she even bothering? But no, there's the innate need in her to keep on pushing herself, which really I admire as an individual. And I'm always just trying to espouse that in my own small ways. And I feel like we should all try to copy that just for ourselves, in the different spheres of our activities, in our businesses, in our careers, in our studies, in our projects that you're doing, whether they're hobbies, just even if you've taken up a hobby, just be good at it then, you don't have to be an athlete or a competitor, but just be good at that thing that you've taken up to do. I think there's more satisfaction that way. We've given Beyonce positive feedback over the years as her fans, and it hasn't made her say, okay, cheers, I'm good now, I've arrived at the top of my Mount Everest. No, she's always just, you wonder, there's another mountain. She's always going for higher and different. And it's such a challenge, if you observe it, that she doesn't take the feedback and say she's arrived. Like, I think for her and for all of us, it should be that I have not come this far to only come this far. I have come this far, but then there's farther to go. And that's one of the ways we can use positive feedback for ourselves. Now, when it comes to negative feedback, it's easy to reject it, to rebel against it, to imagine that it's a witch hunt, to imagine that, this person has it in for me. Why are they just telling me off? Or why can't I just have anything happen perfectly? So you made a meal and guys are like, maybe you could have added a bit more salt, and you're like, these people are not appreciating my efforts. I did all this, I slaved away, it's taken me so many hours to present these meals for them. And there's all these things that we can say in defense of ourselves because we've been bruised. The pride has been bruised. You feel like your efforts are not appreciated. Your ego has been stuck at a little bit. So it's easy to reject feedback or toss it aside. And even maybe the person who's giving you the feedback, you don't like them or you don't respect them. It's also even easier to reject what they're telling you. But my thing is that even a broken clock is right twice a day. So, you might be getting feedback from people you don't really like or enjoy or respect. But it's just good to, receive it and just process it from that angle, just to know that they could be right. So maybe let me just hear what they're saying and not necessarily take into consideration who they are or my feelings towards them, but let me just see what are they saying, and try to clear your mind so that you can be objective in terms of how you process this feedback that you're receiving. I personally feel that if anybody is giving me any kind of feedback, it means they are sort of invested in what I'm doing, or they're paying me attention. So they are watching, and if they just didn't get the idea in their heads, they actually say to share that. So I really respect that. I may not like it, But I respect when people tell me, hey, I think here, there, this, the other. It may hurt me, it may hurt my ego and bruise me a little bit, but the fact that somebody has watched what I'm doing and taken it into mind and decided to formulate words to come and give me feedback, even if I didn't ask them, hey, what do you think? Many times the negative feedback we get is not from people who we've asked what they think. It's literally unsolicited. And that's what we'd say, why even telling me? But I feel like it's okay. They risk embarrassing themselves by coming to tell you. They risk an argument. They risk a fight. They risk more enmity between you and them or whatever. But they've just come to tell you, so I really take it seriously. I may not enjoy it, but I take it very, I think it's very, you should respect people who give you feedback, just give them their level of respect, and you can distance yourself from them just a little bit so that you can process what it is they said in an objective manner and improve yourself based on that. I said earlier, feedback is a breakfast of champions, so you want to win in your life, you want to win in your career, you want to win in your business, you want to win in your presentations, you want to win in whatever it is you're doing. So the best way you're going to win is for you to get feedback. If I'm in the gym, I started working out recently, guys. So if I'm in the gym and maybe I'm doing something in an incorrect angle and someone comes to tell me, I shouldn't fight with them. So you think I should do my rep this way? Okay, so my posture is not good, so I'm going to go with that, and especially if, let's say, it's someone who has been there for longer or even works there. So they may not be attached to me or to train me, but if they see something I'm doing wrong and they're happy to correct me, I'll be like, wow, they're getting in my space, but you know what? Maybe this new posture will actually be better for me, so I don't break my back or, ruin a muscle by doing something the wrong way. So I think it's important to just take feedback and use it to grow yourself. In fact, be very selfish when you're receiving feedback. Just say, you know what? I'm going to take this and I'm going to improve myself. So then even the next person these people interact with you, you'll be miles ahead. You have taken such quantum jumps and leaps, and there'll be hardly any reason to come and give you the same feedback. I feel like if you're always receiving the same feedback, then there's something amiss. Why are you in the same spot all the time? Like if somebody the last time told you, hey, I think this and that and the other, and you literally had it, I think there's no shame in shedding things that don't work for us. The pride we should have is a pride in constantly self-improving. That's the only. It's not the only, but one of the important feathers we should carry in our caps. Like, I take such pride in myself. I take such pride in my growth. I take such pride in my development. I take pride in leveling up, that it's okay even if I receive negative feedback that I don't like. Maybe it's even negative to me, because everything is subjective at some point. I'll take it and I'll use it selfishly. I'll be like, okay, it's my life. I'm crafting my own path. So I'll take whatever I hear and I'll use it to better myself at every point. So if you look at it that way, then things become better. But today I want to share a few ways in which we can, use negative feedback to better ourselves. So I wrote down a few points that I'll share with you. Basically just how to handle difficult feedback and criticism, especially at work or in your line of business, because that's now where and I feel like with these tips, they can cross them over. You can use them at home, use them at church, use them in your social circles. Like, if you learn to handle the criticism and the negative feedback or difficult feedback, let me stop using negative, difficult feedback at work and in your line of business, I think these tips can cross over to other areas of their life. So yeah, let's talk about it. Number one, embrace a growth mindset. If everything to you is about growth, so even this difficult feedback will not really dissuade you or make you lose your balance. It will not knock the wind out of your sails. You'll still continue. You'll take it in stride and keep going. So when you receive difficult feedback, you'll not take it as a personal attack. because you've already embraced a growth mindset. So you take it and decide, okay, how can I use this as water to, as seeds for my growth, water to water those seeds for my growth. So take it as an opportunity for self-improvement, okay? And just it's so important to understand that receiving feedback, even if it's not necessarily positive all the times, it can help you identify areas of growth and development. Just identify the gaps in your life, in your work, in your business. Identify those gaps, like, hey, why don't you do this better, or this is not going well, like that. So that way you're not constantly stressed and feel like people are shining a light on you to show you out like what you're doing wrong, but basically just to consider them as investors into your future and into your development. So when you embrace a growth mindset, you acknowledge that any setback, any failure that people shine a light on in your life is not to attack you. It's basically to help you improve yourself, and it's a learning process. Like, you just say, okay, fine, so feedback is part of the learning, and feedback is part of the improvement, feedback is part of the development, so you take it that way. And it means that even when you encounter the challenge of maybe a negative feedback, or rather difficult feedback, then you're not depressed, you're not discouraged, so you just pick up everything as a valuable lesson, and it contributes to your personal and professional growth. And remember, these tips that I'm telling you, they can cross over even in your relationships at home or relationships with your significant others. So the difficult feedback that you get from your friend or your sibling or your mom, dad, then it doesn't make you feel like, oh, nobody loves me, why can't anybody see that I do anything right? No. You'll be like, oh, okay, so you don't like it when I walking out and the door bangs. That's okay. So the next time when you're walking through a door, you'll be more careful to sort of like hold it until you close it gently. And I'm just using that as an example because I think at home is where doors just bang and can cause a lot of friction. So yeah, stay open and maintain a positive mindset, a growth mindset, and then you become more resilient towards life and even achieving your goals. Yeah, so by maintaining a positive and open mindset, you become stronger and even more resilient as you go for your goals, so being told, hey, you need to do 40 minutes, and yet maybe your personal best is 45 minutes, it won't deter you. You make sure you go down to 44, close your ears to any advice or any feedback. So yeah, embrace the growth mindset, and you'll find yourself succeeding and prospering in everything that you're doing, despite the challenges that you will encounter, because you'll be ready. If it doesn't work, it's okay. You're ready to try again. Something else that I'd say, give yourself time. We're human, we're sensitive, negative and difficult conversations are not our natural, habitats. That's not something I expect you to be like, oh, okay, fine. Somebody tells you something, I don't like your work, and you're like, okay, yay. That's not gonna happen. Give yourself time. Hear what has been said, and give yourself time to just be quiet, to process. Honestly, don't rush around to discuss the difficult feedback you received with other people, because now that group mentality will make you harder to, make it harder for you to embrace the feedback, make it harder for you to process it even more objectively. If you must discuss, please discuss it with, I think, maybe just one other person or two other people who they're gonna be honest with you and tell you, anyway, over there you had really gone off, or this, what you're being told, by the way, is right. You may not like what you're hearing, but we think it's right. But generally, I'd say take time, give yourself time, and go through everything that you've been told. Jot it down if you have to, so you don't forget, and then ruminate over it, do a bit of research, and just calm yourself down. Like, really calm yourself down. Of course, you've been hurt. Negative feedback, difficult conversations are not, it's not a walk in the park. So yeah, give yourself time, feel your feelings, and then get to work. Get to get to doing the work, and seeing now that your mind has changed and seeing this is constructive criticism, so then you pick up the insights from the feedback and then get to work. Also allow yourself time before responding. So someone can tell you, oh yeah, I didn't like it when you did this, I feel like this went wrong, so you don't have to respond. Please give yourself time. You don't have to respond immediately. Don't make it an argument, don't make it a thing. Just be like, okay, I hear you, breathe in if you have to. I say, can we talk about this another time? I'm happy to hear more from you about this and the other. Just excuse yourself from the situation as gently as possible, so then you don't flip and you don't you don't burn bridges unnecessarily. Don't get into arguments and quarrels. You have your feelings and they're valid. You're like, what? This is not cool at all. And that's okay. Feel your feelings, but don't respond. Don't react immediately. So take some time away and just say, hey, I've heard what you said. Can we talk about this tomorrow or, an hour from now, depending on how much time you need to calm yourself down. That way, you're able to even confirm, is it a misunderstanding? Is it a difference in approach? Is it, is this even constructive? Was this valid? So once you've slowed down, was it a valid criticism? Was it a valid feedback? And all that. So then you're not acting on the moment for things. That's what I'm saying. Just give yourself a bit of time, so then you have the best outcomes for yourself. I'm here for you to win. So the other people with their feedback, ni sawa, but I want you to win. So give yourself a bit of time. So then you also don't make, what do we call them, knee-jerk reactions, just responding anyhow for the sake. You're not impulsive and you're not defensive. And whatever you do after giving yourself time is usually better than what you'd have done in the heat of the moment, or what you'd have said in the heat of the moment. Yeah, so the other thing I'd say, seek clarity. Now that you've given yourself time, also seek clarity. If in doubt, seek clarity. Like, seek clarity, make it so clear. When you do go to speak to the other person, or if you're speaking to the other person in the moment, tell them, okay, you've said this, and this is what I've heard. Is that what you said? Maybe they said, your turnaround time, we needed this thing in 5 hours, you're turning around in 7 hours, we don't like that, and then so repeat it back to them. So you said this, you don't like that I'm doing it in 7 hours, you prefer 5 hours. Is that what you said? And of course they'll say, yes, that's what I said. And then you can say, okay, these are the reasons for the 7 hours. How do you think I can get into the 5-hour window that like, even as you seek clarity, also involve the other person in giving you ideas to improve. So then you're not just, the onus is not just on you. Even them who came to you to give you feedback should also participate in your victory, in your prosperity. So seek clarity. Yes, this is what you said. That's no problem. How do I get there? And just be, it's not even like you're being humble or, you're not being humiliated or anything, but just involve them and say, hey, I'd actually like to get to that 5-hour mark that you want me to get to in terms of delivering on this project. Do you have any pointers? Do you have any ideas? And that way, when you seek people's opinions, many times they're more willing to beat you in a better manner than when they're just criticizing you, like, how best do you think I should go about this, or how have you seen anyone else besides me doing this? So then I can also borrow or copy from their strategy. So that kind of clarity, seek examples, so it's an important step in the feedback process. So then you're not just left there hanging. We've criticized you, and then we leave you to your own devices in terms of improvement, So you can also seek clarity from other people that, hey, I got this feedback and the other guys, how do you think I should? What do you think about it? And how should I go about it from here? So it also demonstrates your commitment to your growth, your own growth. Shows you you're committed to developing yourself better into a better professional, into a better business person. It shows that you are focused on delivering better outcomes at every point, and it also centers you. It doesn't center the person who's giving the feedback, it centers you, and that's the part of the growth mindset. It's centering yourself, it's centering your progress, and these people will be stakeholders, then that's okay, but you are the main character in terms of this feedback. So don't be afraid to engage in open and constructive conversation or dialogue with the people who are providing you feedback. whether it's your boss, whether it's your manager, whether it's your colleague, whether it's your clients, whether it's your business partner, your suppliers, anybody that you're working with, in a team, just it might be crazy to read at first. You feel like, oh my God, I'm putting myself out there to be, it's like a firing range, but don't look at it that way. So open yourself up and, before they can fire, ask them, so guys, I know you say this and the other. How do you think I should, go about this? And that way, you find it's better. They even make your work easier because now they're providing the thoughts that you actually did not have, or maybe you had, but you didn't know exactly how to put them into practice. Yeah. So the other thing I'd say, when it comes to dealing with difficult feedback or negative feedback, just focus on patterns. So just focus on patterns and just see the themes of the feedback that you receive. Some things are really disheartening and discouraging, honestly, and you can just feel like, oh gosh, I never want to hear people's opinions about what I'm doing. I'm just going to do what I'm doing and get out of here. I don't sit around to hear how it was, what people are thinking, because then, you're so discouraged. But I feel like if many, okay, it could be one person who, this person, every time they talk to me, they just put me down. So it's possible for you, because you're human again, to just say, to shut them out. So to never hear what they're saying. They could be talking, but all you're just seeing is their mouth moving because you've blocked them even mentally. But I feel like if you seek clarity, if you check out with other people that you trust, and maybe 2-3 more people are telling you, yeah, we think the black is not working, and that's what the other person was telling you, that you're not really feeling the vibe, maybe just consider that. If more people are telling you there's multiple sources of this negative feedback, or rather difficult feedback, you might want to consider it as an area for improvement for yourself, and take it upon yourself to work on that area in a genuine manner. Okay, not to please them, but just to improve yourself. And just say that I'm gonna consider the context in which the feedback is given, and see if this is a place I need to work on in terms of improving myself, improving my craft, improving my work outcomes, etc., etc., even my relationships, etc., etc. Because the truth be told, feedback can be very subjective, and because of that, it might be easy to reject it or to even avoid it. So when you hear something, maybe run it back. Hey, I had this and this and about me and about my work. What do you think about my work? So consider the context in which it is given, so then you're able to work on it in a way that suits you, in a way that also edifies you, and in a way that grows you. So then again, you are the center of attention here. So assess yourself all the time. The other thing I'd say for sure is it's important to leverage feedback. So you leverage this feedback for improvement, because the purpose of difficult conversations, purpose of difficult feedback is to help you grow. That's what we're trying to do here, to help you grow at all times. So leverage that feedback and use it to grow. Like, remember how in a seesaw we have weights on this side and another weight on this side. So this one pushes down, another one goes up. So the feedback is what might push you down, and you feel, my heart is hurt and I've been pushed down. But use that you're on the other side of the feedback to grow yourself, to level up, and you go places that you never thought you'd go because you use feedback properly. You're able to leverage feedback and to grow yourself, grow your craft, and even just have it being written there in your report that this person takes feedback correctly. So even your managers feel like you're an easier person to work with. Your clients feel like you're an easier person to work with, because whatever comes to you, you don't reject it, you take it well. It even shows you're a willing team player. Even as a business person, as an entrepreneur, being able to receive feedback shows that you're a team player, and you always want the best for the team, not just for yourself only. So use that, and you find yourself advancing so much further because you receive feedback, even if it's difficult, in a positive way, and you're able to leverage it to grow yourself. So please don't dismiss people when they're giving you feedback. Don't be defensive, Don't make it an opportunity to quarrel and to pick fights and to confirm a beef that somebody has with you. It's not time for beefing. You can beef later. It's not time for beefing. When it comes to your life, how you're improving it, your career, your business, it's not beef. You just say it's not beef. You tell yourself, it might be beef for the other person, but tell yourself it's not beef for you. You just want to grow and change so much. Basically just become like the butterfly. Because remember how the egg does not look like the pupa. The pupa does not look like the egg does not look like the larva. The larva does not look like the pupa. The pupa does not look like the fully done butterfly, the fully evolved butterfly. So that's what you're going for. Use this feedback, change yourself so much, beautify your life so much. When we meet you 5 years from now, we'll be like, we don't even know who you are, and it's in a beautiful way. We can't recognize you because maybe when we were busy criticizing you, maybe you were at the pupa stage and nothing was happening. You were just quiet. Things are happening, but we can't see them. And then when you finally come out, you're unrecognizable in a wonderful way. So that's what I wish for you here. When it comes to feedback, use the feedback and grow yourself. Change it to a butterfly. Make yourself beautiful. Make your life beautiful. And good luck with that. Thank you for hanging here with me. Send me your feedback on the show in your comments. Write in. If you want to come and sit with me and discuss more things about feedback, you're welcome. Write to me at careercruisepodcast@gmail.com. I'll be right here to receive your email and to write back to you, and we can organize a sit down here, right here with you. I need your company here. So I'll see you soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.